Let's see. Hello and welcome to the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. I am Community Manager Cordovan. Thanks very much for joining us here on Wednesday, the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream starting at noon Eastern, -5 GMT, every Wednesday on twitch.tv/DDOstream. Don't forget to give us a follow if you would like to be notified for where we're going live with shows just like this one and our other shows throughout the week. We both stream ourselves, and we have members of the community stream on DDO Stream if throughout the week. I know some people come and go over time, but we have a pretty good schedule right now, and we have room for more folks. So if you are streaming DDO and would like to live stream on DDO Stream, send me a PM. Get in touch with me over Twitter. It's at Jerry Snook, JerrySnook, or you could just DM at DDO Unlimited, and we'll talk to you a little bit about what you want to do and probably get you set up with a time slot. Otherwise, even if you can't join us here on Cannith, which is where we are this week, please join us in chat, ask us some questions. We can't guarantee we're going to give you an answer to everything, but we can guarantee we will try. So if you ask us a question, we will do our best to answer it. As I said, we are on Cannith this week, and we're going to be running some heroic Wheloon quests. We haven't really... Okay, so why heroic? Because on Cannith, I don't really have a good character for the live stream. So last time we were on Cannith, I used an admin client and built a character. And this time around, I wanted to start actually making a character for Cannith. So I rolled up an iconic Morning Lord, Sun Elf Morning Lord, and the only reason for that is I hadn't really played one too much, so I thought, why not? And that's where we go. We've got a couple of folks in the group with us here, and room for a couple more. Welcome, welcome. We'll be getting started in just a second. And so,
Hey,
we'd love to
thank you.
have you. If you are interested in joining us, you could send me a tell right now to Gomogol, Gomogol, on Cannith, and I would be happy to get you into the party. If you do join us in the party on the live stream, it's pretty much guaranteed 500 turbine points for you. So really do. We just want to say thanks for people to join us and to put themselves out there on the live stream and all the rest. So let's take a look at chat, see what we have going on. Draculetta, yep, home server of Cannith. Nice to see you there. I know you do quite a bit of streaming yourself. We have Technical 13 from the DDO Wiki trying to join us as well, having a few technical issues there. Also, just did want to tell you, Tech, that I am planning to get the new Players Council list up on the DDO Wiki as soon as time permits, probably next week before I'm going to be able to carve out the time for it. But it's something I want to do is use the information I've already put together to make a quick wiki post. So what's in the news here this week in DDO? We really have a couple of things. The first one is the 2015 DDO Players Council has been announced. We announced it late yesterday, and we do have a couple more members that'll be sort of joining us in the coming days. Some folks were maybe on vacation or snowed in or whatever, and they need a couple more days to get back to us and get processed. We have just about everyone at this point that we've heard back from, though, so still a couple of you out there, though. So check your email inbox if you applied to the Players Council. But we have the list ready, and you can find that on the DDO forums. We have about 56 members that have joined us so far. Actually, now that I think about that, I think we're up to 59 as of bringing in a few more folks this morning. So pretty good. About twice the size of last year's council, a little bit greater than that, actually. And yeah, it's a nice diverse group, and they've already talking a little bit about some in-game stuff, some mysterious remnant rewards. I know they're going to be talking about some of the basics, what they like about DDO, introducing themselves to the group, that kind of thing. So that's cool, and they'll be running for the year. All right, let's see. Other news, our bonus this week starts on Thursday, and I believe this week is a 30% challenge reward boost. So if you want to get some challenges in, this is a good weekend to do that. I would also say that we are this close to the Mimic Hunt. Next week, you know, is really a week from Saturday is DDO's formal anniversary day. Head Start was actually the 26th. First day open to everybody was the 28th. So typically we call the 28th the anniversary day. But you can expect that we are going to have some special live streaming going on to mark our anniversary. We'll have to see what we can do there. And also the Mimic Hunt, which, you know, if you I think we're really set to go. Current plan is next Thursday, so a week from tomorrow, the Mimic Hunt should start up. And we'll have more information for those of you who missed the Mimic Hunt preview on Lamania. We're going to put together a little guide for it, hopefully out by next week if I can get it typed up enough now that the Players Council stuff is out of the way. But that's what we got going on. So those are really the big things right now. We got the Players Council, upcoming bonuses, the anniversary coming up, and the Mimic Hunt coming up. Of course, we have Temple of Elemental Evil coming up fairly soon too. Should be seeing that on Lamania, hopefully sooner rather than later. And let's get questing. We are in Wheloon. This is part of the Shadowfell Conspiracy Adventure Pack, and we are. Actually, let me just get this last person in. Looks like we're ready to go here. Mimic is the anniversary event. Let me just quick check our chat, and then I need to refresh my Twitch page. I'm having some issues there right now. I don't know that we're going to get an all-div party raid on the stream for our birthday, but oh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? At the very least, it's going to be me probably doing a bunch of live streaming throughout the day, so... let's see. Wolf dancing is greater than Blade Forge dancing. I don't know about that. The Awesome Guild, the Gamer Me, that's a great one too. Cavern Dragon is on the Players Council. Thanks, Banshee Kate, for mentioning that it's a fellow guildie. And I am running, like I said, a quick-rolled iconic Sun Elf Morning Lord. So. Are any of the streams on Kyber? Yes, we've been doing 2 weeks per server, and as of this newest cycle, we're going alphabetically. So we did Arganesson, we're just starting Cannith here, and we'll be doing, going down the list alphabetically here. What's after Cannith? Is that Galanda, maybe? Yeah, I think Galanda, so... We are going to start off here with Disciples of Shar. Hey, Bonnie, how's it going? Yeah, Mary, I think I might be able to pull together something last minute. But, you know, the reality in the office right now is that in the last, 3 weeks, we have had an incredible amount of snow days. We have had so much snow that it has just been kind of a nightmare. And as a result of that, devs that actually need to do their dev work have found themselves a little busy. So they're not able to actually get that work done. So they really need to crack down and get going on that. So some of these peripheral fun things like live streams and that kind of have to go by the wayside a little bit. I'm sorry to say. But I'm here and I can do stuff. I should probably also turn on power attack. Alright, we ready to do this? Sorry, Tech. I, first come, first served on the groups. We actually filled up early. Like I say, I am a real gimp right now. Besides being level 15, I'm just using whatever iconic starter gear comes with on the Morning Lord, which, you know, isn't terrible, but is perhaps not quite as awesome as, as certainly the Blade Forged, and perhaps some of the others. So, I don't know that I'm going to be all that effective here, but I will do my best. I went really with Radiant Servant because it's easier that way. I thought I could do a little healing for the group. That'd be kind of useful. Look at this, look at that strange mace this guy has. It's part of the iconic sort of default. Yeah, Morning Lords, I mean, they're clerics, right, at their core base. I think one of the biggest challenges of the Morning Lord is that you start off as an elf, which means that you start off with 6 Constitution, which can be a little on the low side for DDO. These bear traps. Yep. So basically I have Rejuvenation at Dawn, that's pretty useful, Positive Energy Burst and Blast, you know, Divine Cleansing, things like that. I basically just went with all that stuff. No XP because we have someone over level here. Con is not a dump stat. You would not, you know, I'm sure Samus would say, yeah, well, it is for you at least sometimes, huh? Yeah, but that's because I do like my elves. It's true. But I, nonetheless, know they're not really a dump stat. Blade Forge. I do love my Blade Forge, which is pretty cool. They're pretty rad. Alright, let's see, we got that. So what's on your guys' mind? You got anything going on here that you guys want to talk about? Want to ask me a little bit about? I'd be happy to take some questions while I pike my way through the quest on behalf of those more powerful than I. Are the servers down at the moment? They shouldn't be. I mean, clearly we're in the game right now, but are you having an issue then? Presumably. Like, Tech was just having an issue too, so I wonder if we don't have something going on. I don't know of anything though. I'm not seeing any alerts on our end yet. So if something's happening, it's kind of happening as we speak. Maybe I'll be alerted to it shortly. DDO Legend wants update 25 information. The most information I can provide right now is we are working hard on it because we are running just a little behind due to all the snow days and all that sort of thing that we've had in the past couple of weeks. So it's sort of nose to the grindstone time on getting update 25 ready for Lamania in particular, but you know, also just in general, getting it ready. Are we going to do something to make the hirelings more champion robust, aka not get pwned all the time by champions, which they actually don't always, but yes, we have investigated the possibility of essentially making champion buffs not apply to champions. Or not apply to hirelings. Do you know
which update the warlocks are going to come in?
No. I can tell you it's probably going to be later this year, so it would probably not update 25 or 26, but I think it really depends on just how soon we can get it ready. You know, whether or not it's a 27, 28, perhaps 26, you know. We don't have an exact time frame for it. At this point, internally it's just, hey, when we're ready, when it's done. When that is exactly, I don't know yet. But it'll probably be the latter half of the year, I'd expect.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. No date set for Lamania either. I mean, we had a date set for Lamania, and then we got 5 feet of snow. So things have kind of had to be a little loosey-goosey on our time frames here. But we're working on it. working to get it out as quick as we can. So anyway, kind of back to the question of hirelings and champions. Yeah, we're investigating the possibility of having the sort of the champion buffs not apply to hirelings. So when they attack, they would act essentially as regular mobs, and that would be sort of by proxy buff to champion or to hirelings. It sort of make the champion part of them a bit of a non-issue. But I wouldn't say that that's a promise at this point. Again, this is just something that we've been looking into as a possibility. As with most things like that, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? When's it going to happen? Kind of depends, but that's the goal. We need a sneak peek so all the forums are not champion complaints. I wouldn't say they've all been complaints. Champions have certainly been the topic of discussion, probably the biggest topic of discussion on the forums for about a month or so now. But it hasn't all been complaints. As a matter of fact, we have a pretty large group of folks who are pretty happy with the state of champions right now. And we even have some that would prefer that we actually go back to the more difficult part of champions that we had earlier this year. Or actually, I guess around the holidays before we nerfed it. I'm not going to make fun of anyone for dying. Jeez. It'd be pretty bad of me to do so. Actually, I would make fun of people for dying, but it would have to be in a sarcastic, I die all the time too way.
I like what Bonnie, you just said about camps making things interesting. They do.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too. They add a nice bit of variety.
They add something which has been missing from the game since the beginning, which is that sense of wonder, spectacular, something weird's going to happen.
You know, we talked a little bit about this last week, but I in my own personal, this is only my own personal experience with champions, but I've largely found them to be a non-issue. You know, if you're able to do Epic Elite, you were probably able to do Epic Elite with or without champions just fine. I mean, yeah, they're harder, but it really hasn't impacted my gameplay very much personally. Clearly some people feel differently about that, but me personally, it has sort of been a non-issue.
No, I totally agree, and that's a good way of putting it. If you could do E before solo, you should be able to do it now.
Yep. Alright, let's see. Any chance players, council members can get a cool icon in chat here? That is interesting. I'd have to look into that. I know, like, say for Infinite Crisis, somehow we came up with some Infinite Crisis themed icons for Twitch. So maybe if we could find a way to make that happen, that'd be cool. I'd be all in favor of that. I'll have to look into that more, see if it's something we can do. A green D20, that would be rad. Let's see, what else we got in chat? Any news about the Remnant Trader offering different stuff in the shop? We did recently roll in some new rewards temporarily. We have a plan to bring in some more pretty soon here, I think within the next couple of weeks. So we are going to see that Mysterious Remnant Reward Vendor, see a changing list of items. We're sort of establishing a pattern here of rolling things in and rolling things out, and you're seeing that right now. And you'll see more of that soon. So. No guild renown, because I don't have a guild renown. Alright, up next, let's do escape plan here. Alright, let me head back in chat real quick, make sure I didn't miss something. XP has been a bit wonky lately regarding varying levels in a party. I'm not aware of that. I guess I need a little more explanation as to what you're experiencing. I wish wisdom to damage was more available. Yes, my cleric would like that very much. This was a picture that the Lotro Twitter posted about all the snow they've gotten. Yes, that is our office, our cafeteria area. We have an area that goes outside in the summer, and it's like 10 feet deep in there right now. It's utterly nuts. Utterly nuts. But, hey, it's fine. It'll end someday, hopefully before summer. I don't think you can get wisdom to damage, can you? Unless I can think of something that I can't think of right now. The Traxton asks, why can I not get the DDO store to open except from the character selection screen? I don't know. I would get in touch with our technical support folks. They should be able to assist you there. Don't know quite why. I would say usually the first culprit to look at is your web browser. Make sure your web browser is updated. Sometimes, you know, if, like, say your Internet Explorer is running out of sync or something like that, sometimes we'll see those issues happen. That's usually the biggest culprit. Any chance to have drinking potions while moving work and not take your potion, not get the sovereign heal? That is, I think, something we are looking at, not specifically in relation to potions, but overall in relation to abilities that sometimes misfire and get consumed when you're, say, hit a movement button right away. I don't know what the end result of that investigation is going to be, but yeah, that would make sense to get that fixed as well. Let's see. Checking at chat here. Someone doesn't like the idea of making champion buffs not work on hirelings. Doesn't make sense lore-wise. This is true. It really doesn't make sense that, you know, I'm just going to damage you less. But, you know, sometimes, as with a bunch of D&D things, sometimes you need to make concessions for the fact that you're playing a game. You know, this comes up occasionally when we derivate from, say, the 3.5 or whatever edition, you know, we're pulling something from. And I think this might just have to be one of those as well. It's a good solution to the problem of hirelings maybe getting pwned by champions. Jaren Aron says, I have a bug question I want to check if it's working as intended or not. Do I know if the Eldritch Knight enhancement, Arcane Barrier, is meant to reduce negative energy healing in addition to normal damage? I don't know. So what I would say in regard to that is I need to look up to see what Arcane Barrier actually does. I can't think of that one off the top of my head. But in general, things that affect positive energy healing should also affect negative energy.
I really do like the staff one stuff.
Get a little healing here. Get started again. So that's what I would say in general. I would need to look up that specific ability to see sort of what the wording is on it, but it does seem a little strange that it would be, reduce negative energy healing in addition to normal damage. So you're actually having the opposite effect, where it's having a suppressive effect on negative energy healing amplification, but does additional damage. I say that that's probably a bug. Probably a bug. Most likely.
We can't let Dedrick Black escape, fumes the Majesty.
No, you never can get through that.
Head if we don't get him to Wheloon.
I always try.
Anyway, back to Alarvin's question about champions and the level range that you get Mysterious Remnants. I think where we would look to see perhaps an adjustment would be on the epic levels, but we have not yet made any of those adjustments. My theory, and granted, you know, whenever you try to sort of make a wide-ranging statement, it doesn't apply to a lot of people, you know. So you always want to be careful about trying to give an absolute that isn't applicable. But I think in general what I've found from those who are having the champions most disrupt their traditional sort of the way they've been doing things is it tends to be on either end of the spectrum. Some of the people who maybe like to TR frequently and are really about that XP per minute and getting completionist and all the rest. You know, Champions does add more challenge, certainly compared to where we were, say, in the past year. And it does, you know, slow things down a little bit, so some of those folks, you know, want to see some changes there. And I think on the particularly, I don't want to use the word casual, but perhaps less geared out, you know, people who run the game a little less often, perhaps maybe they're in static groups, you know, once a week static groups or something like that. I think they also, we see feedback from them about champions as well. And then you see a mix, you know, across the player spectrum, right? Like I say, it's not an absolute here. Absolutes almost never work. But that's been generally my personal feelings as to the state of champions is when we see people asking for changes, they tend to fall into one of those categories. Is the upcoming Mimic event the DDO card thing? Yes and no. You do get cards from the Mimic event. The Mimic event, we actually did a preview on Lamania and on Twitch here. So if you go to our archives, you'll be able to check it out for yourself. But essentially what the Mimic event is there's a chance when the event is active for chests to become Mimics. And if you defeat the Mimic, it has the chance to drop a chest, and that chest may have sort of collectible rewards. And then you'll turn in those collectible rewards for anniversary cards, and combine the anniversary cards for predominantly Maybar, the loot that was in the old Maybar festival. And that's the core of the event. There's also sort of a server property where on each server, once a certain amount of mimics get killed, then there's sort of a mimic frenzy period across the whole server where every chest can be a mimic for a period of time. And then we also do have some ways to, through the DDO store, to guarantee a mimic, or you can speak to an NPC in the Hall of Heroes to not have mimics spawn. And that's really the bullet point version of the event. So.
And the shaman is not surprised to see them. We hunt the same prey. So be it. We are both higher prey.
So Z332 mentions, in regards to his XP issue, he was saying there's been some weird XP things going on. Typically, party members that are 2 or 3 levels lower than the highest party member and would normally get a 25 to 50% XP penalty are getting 0% XP instead. This has happened multiple times. I have not been hearing that from folks. Certainly not in any kind of wide-scale capacity here, so I'm not 100% sure what you might be experiencing. I'm wondering whether what you might be experiencing is a cross between heroic and epic levels. So if you are on a heroic level character and you are running with epic level people, or if you are running an epic level quest, let's say you're level 19 and the group you're running with is 21 and you're running epic level content, then the heroic level folks will not get XP. So that may be what you're experiencing, where the you maybe have someone in heroic and epic and you're running into that barrier. Otherwise, epic level players should all be able to run together without penalty, and heroic should be unchanged, where if you get, what, 5 or 6 levels below, then all of a sudden you can't can't get any XP. But otherwise, it's a penalty that sort of scales as you get power leveled. At least that's how it's supposed to work. At least as far as I know.
Branch of Isle.
Ooh, that's cool.
I'll take it.
Great item for a Tailmaster.
Quarterstaff, spellcasting, empty red, improved curse spewing, potency, nullification, necro focus 2. Pretty alright. Level 15.
Last call.
Technical 13 raises a interesting lore question in regards to hirelings, saying it does make some sense if you think of hirelings as less of a threat to champions, they should also take less damage. And essentially the champion would be like, I don't need to worry about you, Stormtrooper, I need to go after Luke and Leia here. So, there you go. Potion Storing Bag, your DDO asks about. Interesting, we were talking about that in the Players' Council just this week with the new folks here. There's still some technical issues that are preventing us from being able to really do what we want there. But we'd like to do it too someday if that was ever possible. Any chance of a monk-barbarian mix? Probably not. There's some alignment restrictions that prevent that normally. And that would be one powerful combo. I think that there might be some balance concerns with allowing monk-barbarian splits, but would be pretty awesome. No question about it. So, alright, let's see. What are we up to here next? I think we're actually at the ones sort of in there now. You want to just bum around, see which one we hit first?
There's a last one here.
Yeah.
Shadow of a Doubt, yeah.
Yeah, let's do Shadow of Doubt then.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's see. Jaren Aron says, as far as I know, Arcane Barrier does not stop positive energy healing. Yeah, that sounds like a bug. I'm not sure why that would be happening. Particularly, I don't even think that really impacts healing at all otherwise. It's not in the description, right? So. Oh, and hey, your DDO. Any chance of a Monk Barb mix? We already addressed that. It feels like Lamani will have a new build later this week. I think it's going to be a little beyond that. I think this week might be a little generous because, frankly, we're busy with snow days. But, yeah, maybe. Not this week, sorry. But hopefully soon. I would say probably after the anniversary. Just because we want people playing on the live servers for the anniversary. New pick of snow at Turbine headquarters? I'll have to get one.
Always fun trying to hunt these things down.
The magistrate scans the room, terror in his eyes. Screams and the clash of arms can be heard outside. The docks are under attack.
I like this quest because you actually get to go kind of outside into this area here. It's pretty neat. Start from the public space and then move into private, and then go into a private sort of space based on the public area. It's cool. Let's see. And Technical 13 is correct. Things don't work from bags as currently coded. We do some kind of magical hand waving to make it seem like, say, arrows are coming from your quiver. But there's really some kind of behind-the-scenes things where they're actually not. Any insight into the Eternal Cloud Kill book? Not sure what that one is. Sorry. I should know. Especially if it's been Eternal. But can't think of that one off the top of my head. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to see another photograph of Turbine HQ, like the one with Bard posted. I think it was Bard, right?
Well, yeah, we didn't get. I mean, we haven't. The last major snowfall we got was on overnight Saturday into Sunday, and we got about another foot of snow. We got a little bit on, I guess it was Monday, another couple inches, but it was mostly over the weekend.
Well, I mean, we're enjoying a nice, quiet, peaceful winter here in northern Wisconsin, so...
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Next year will be complaining.
You know, I've got some friends that live in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and they were saying that they're actually seeing bare ground, which is quite unusual for Minnesota this time of year.
Even though there's traditionally a February thaw.
Seems crazy to me. I'm playing in Gibraltar myself, so weather here is quite good.
Let's see. What else we got? Ninja Spy question. Is there a known reason
Wow, I can hear better if I put my ears on.
why the only randomly generated and Cannith crafted shurikens gain the Sting of the Ninja effects? Is that the one where it's got the increased critical profile? I think so. And the answer to that, if so, is that the
Perhaps I had.
critical bonus to shurikens is not working correctly in Ninja Spy. It's been bugged, and someday it'll hopefully get fixed. But it's a fairly complex bug related to really ranged weapons in general. So it's a little bit of a... It's going to take some time, and we just haven't really been able to get to it. I know there's a couple folks out there that are petition me frequently to get that one done. I've done my best. We try to get people knowing about working on that shuriken bug. We just had other priorities. There is a YouTube video on the cloud kill bug from C. Morrigu. I can't really watch that right now, but I'll take a look at that after the live stream. Champion spellcasters are OP. I get one shot regularly. Save and die. Alright. They can be pretty strong, that's for sure. Starless70 mentions that they would be happy with just storing the potions in, like, say, a component pouch or potion bag of some kind. What that would mean, though, is you would have to manually take them out if you wanted to use them into your inventory. I think that we would have the ability to make a storage pouch for potions if being able to use them from the pouch was not a community concern. So far, I have not really seen much feedback saying we'd be okay with that. But if you think it would be, let us know, right? Because maybe we could do something there. Ladder bug, we've already discussed that.
Oh yeah, I get the gut feeling that there's a Lamania build on the way.
Yep.
We'll find out.
Yeah, Lamania, I mean, that's really our next big thing after the anniversary here is getting update 25 on Lamania.
This will be another try with some
Let's see. Did I mention when the Mimic event will hit? Yes, we're planning to roll out the Mimic event next Thursday, so a week from tomorrow.
Stuck behind the wall. I want to pull back a little.
Could someone else aggro that dude?
I did. I got him off. He doesn't like it when you try to turn him.
Oh, nice. You actually got him turned, huh?
Oh, it just got a aggro. It should have worked, but it didn't. But I threw the barrier,
Is there any,
which means it actually worked right.
will there ever be an update to Turn Undead? Because it's not really viable in that game at the moment.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you there. Let me turn down my game audio. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I was just wondering if you'd ever make a pass on Turn Undead, because it's not particularly viable in endgame at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a request that we've had for quite some time. It really just hasn't been able to make it to the top of our priority list. But, you know, certainly as a guy who likes his clerics, I'd love to see it. You know, we've seen some turning builds over the years that if you really heavily invest, you can do okay. But you're right that turning, particularly in the upper sections of the game, doesn't really work so hot.
Yeah, I would totally play Cleric if I could make my Cleric turn undead on EE. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it otherwise.
Well, exactly. I mean, it'd be another feather in their cap, you know? Because
Yep.
compared to other builds, particularly after the passes they've received recently, clerics have fallen a bit to the wayside. You don't often see them anymore.
I'd say never. I mean, certainly if we have the ability to, if we plan to do some work on the cleric, that would be high on my personal want list, is to get us to carve out some time for that. But you know, no promises, no idea.
Would be good. I started out this life as a cleric, went favourite soul from there, but decided to try other builds.
Yeah.
I do like clerics.
The mimics do
There's
also
quite a
drop.
few new ones coming out on Kyber, but congrats on your Night Singer.
Nice. Yeah, I got the Elite Night Singer. That's not terrible. You know, I don't play
Yeah,
on
good one.
Cannith that often. I guess I can put this up for a roll. Just roll 1d100 if someone wants it.
Sure, I'll roll.
Yep.
No, I think I'm all set. Thanks.
Okay. Myrlidian? Looks like Myrlidian. Looks like you got it then.
Thank you, sir.
That actually, timing-wise, works out pretty good. I'll probably, we could just sort of bum around the Wheloon public area, or the wilderness area for a bit if we want. We'll answer some questions and then probably wrap up the stream in about 10 minutes.
Works for me.
Definitely.
After I get my enter word. Oh, it's fouling. Oh, here we go. I'm not in a guild, so I'm not getting guild renown. I need to do that. I need to get a guild. Alright, let me take a quick... Actually, let me get into the Wheloon public area. Oops. Ah. Do you guys do that too all the time? Yeah. Alright, let me check this. Mimic as a player class, the gamer me says. That would be rad. Probably not, though. Z332 says the XP issues were happening with Dalaras, Vault of Night and the like. For example, a level 11 got 0 XP from Vault of Night 3 on Elite with a level 14 in the group. Doesn't sound right to me, but I'd have to
If anyone's got
check
blur,
that.
I'll gladly take it.
Oh, actually, someone says on the chat there, like they're concerned about lag with the Mimic Festival, the Mimic Hunt. One thing I guess I could say in regards to that is we are
Thanks a
hoping
lot.
to do a hot fix next week before turning on the Mimic Hunt. And if all goes well, that hot fix will include a few bug fixes in addition to some game performance improvements. Under no circumstances am I saying we're going to fix lag, but I am saying that we are working on some improvements that will help in some causes of lag, and if we can get those out before the event, we plan to.
I've run the quests a handful of times, but never really paid much attention to the Explorer.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's pretty fast slayers, like if you're running in between quests, like on Epic at least, I know that. You can get 300-400 easy, just running from quest to quest.
Oh yeah.
Seems like you get a lot more
For the
spawns
quest.
after you exit a quest than if you just come in to slay.
Mass spawns when you step in from a quest.
Let's see. Also in chat, Javur asks, I wish we would come out with more variety in trinkets. We did do some trinkets, because...
In fact, I know people that kind of prefer to run on a heroic Slayer area just for that one reason.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the fast travel option. Actually related to the question, where was I? Sorry, now I lost my spot. Notice someone said, Felicia asks, Update 25 would not have Warlock. What is the plan for Update 25? The plan for Update 25 is Temple of Elemental Evil, and that's really
Just remember,
the big
guys, you
one.
got 2 slow clerics in the group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one slow piker, one real cleric.
I miss my quiver alacrity.
Update 25 will include probably some enhancement work. We're going to try to fit in some of that sort of stuff and a whole bunch of bug fixes. I mean, there's going to be actually a lot in Update 25 that we just haven't really talked about yet. But it will not include Warlock, that's correct. Mistwalker67 asks, are we working on the floating / buried / wall chests from Champions? Not yet. We haven't really had the time to focus on that yet. But certainly we're aware that happens. How much of an issue it is for you
I
is
heard a
a
while
question
back
of some
when they
debate.
did the melee power pass that range power was going to be coming soon, a range
Yep.
pass. Is that coming with the next update?
It might. I think that, like I say, we're in active development on Update 25, so I hesitate to promise certain things because, particularly with all the snow days we've had lately, a few things might slip out or get added in or whatever. But potentially, yeah, ranged power could indeed be in there.
I think there's a melee power pass that's going for my best guess. For melee rogue, melee ranger, and there's a fighter maybe. That's what I heard here and there, at least speculated, put together.
Yeah, I know we're going to be taking a look at rogue, ranger. We want to do artificer as well. We want to do some fighter work. Which order those things roll out in, I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's the general kind of short-term to-do list.
Sounds great to me.
Put some passing on the Ranger.
Okay, our RTWTF says...
I'm hoping that when Warlock comes here and you have the spells that go with it, that the devs take a slight peek at the spells and see if they can make them scale up into epics a little bit better.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd love to see what Warlock has to offer.
Let's see. RDWTF asks, please come to Solana just once. I am on Solana often. That is one of my main servers. But in terms of the live stream, yeah, we do like I say, we do a 2-week rotation per server, and we go through them all, and then we start at the top and do them all again. So we'll get to Solana a little later because we have Galanda and Kyber and Orion and every other server that begins with a letter prior to S to get to, except for Argonauson and Cannith. So.
I would really look forward to another favored soul tree as well. Something else for them.
Yeah, would be nice.
Favored souls used to be awesome, man. They're a lot of fun to play, particularly like having the ability to win around quests. A lot of versatility there.
Soli of Argo asks, are we ready for more snow? 77 inches and counting? The answer is no. No, I am not ready for more snow. My roof cannot take more snow. I cannot take more snow. I am ready for the snow to be done. But, ugh. Let's see. Very Seal asks, before these crazy crit multipliers, let me take care of this assassin here quick. At least try to. Before I die. I have not yet died on the live stream today. I'd like to keep that up. Let's see. I remember some awesome Barbarian Ranger and Kyber that had the Barbarian crit multiplier from some of the early prestiges and was critting with the Thorn Lord
You guys are
with a
getting
15
treated
to
nice
20.
with the snow. I remember when I was in upstate New York, we got 6 feet in one day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you know, northern New York, Buffalo, that area, they get lots of snow, you know.
Yeah.
Where are we headed? Let's see. That's interesting, Barry. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I know that it's certainly possible to get 15 to 20 crit multipliers with a number of different weapons.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Rothgo77 asks, why use random cards for the Maybar loot? Being, why would we use random card turn-ins to get the loot that was from Maybar in the Mimic Hunt? Use the cards for level 12 robe to get something else.
I have a 15 to 20 on my Barbarian with a Maul.
Yeah, right. Because you get improved crit, and then, you know, any enhancement or whatever that can increase your crit multiplier will do you pretty good. Plus Epic Destinies.
Yeah, I've got the improved crit, the feat. I've got Pulverizer from Dreadnought, and then I've got the Critical Rage from top tier of Ravager.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, why? It's really just kind of the design of the event. People are going to figure out what the cards do, and then they will presumably post it up on the wiki and things like that. I understand some folks would just like to, hey, let me just see what I can get and get it. But that's just sort of not the nature of this particular event. Is anyone having issues with quivering quivers? Mine has hardly been producing any arrows. I haven't heard of any issues with quivering quivers. I know I play sometimes with Samus, who's got them on just about everyone that uses ranged. I haven't heard of anything, but I'll have to check. I'll have to ask about that. Any plans to combine Wayfinder? Nothing to announce in regards to that, sorry. Talking about Manectarin Sans Epics, how about an update for Sans Epic gear?
What I'd like to see is if they're able to do the Cannith pass, that they tie Cannith into the random loot, and that way when they update Cannith, they update the random loot as well.
Yeah.
It's a 2-for-1 deal, it makes it easier.
I think that's the current thinking on it. That's what we would like to do, assuming we can carve out the time to do it and everything. I think that is the plan.
Oh, that's been my impression,
yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that.
Yep.
I personally use Cannith crafting all the time. You know, I have a few routes and I TR quite a lot. So I like to custom craft gear for them. So really looking forward to any overhaul that Cannith crafting gets, particularly, you know, new recipes and like.
Yep.
Cannith Crafting came out, what, almost 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like
And
that.
I just found something I'd never seen it before, Stealthy. Great little, great little, I want to say oven, but I'm not.
Well, I mean, let's not dissuade from augments. I mean, augments, I think, added a whole new layer to Cannith crafting. Sure, it raises the MLB item. You get a heck of a lot of diversity by finding, loot gen items with green slots, blue slots, yellow slots, and the like.
Yep.
Makes TR more fun.
Dan Teal asks, will the Temple of Elemental Evil still also be lower level as well? Yes, that is the plan. I believe the plan is to have Temple be on the heroic side around level 7-ish, and on the epic side it'll be level 30, or close to it. Something like that.
I'm really glad to hear that it's going to be level 7 as well, because I have a nephew who's playing, and he's level 6 right now.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be fun. And that'll also mean that folks who want to could just vet status their way in.
Ish.
Yep. And then part of that too is that if you wanted to vet status to your way in, you could go straight to Temple for those who just want to see the the Temple.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool.
Tech 13 asks about other new quests coming out.
Good, I can follow Wolfram now.
Temple of Elemental Evil and another quest for update 25? No, 25, in terms of the quests, are going to be Temple of Elemental Evil.
I think we're just kind of wandering aimlessly.
Pretty much.
Nice. I'm actually out. I just need to answer some questions and call it a stream, so I can't really kill anything right now. Tech 13 asks about, is the Players' Council fully seated now, or are there more emails being waited on? I've got about 3 or 4 more emails out there. If folks get back in touch with me, then they'll be added to the Players' Council in the coming days. If they don't get back in touch with me, well, there's not much I can do about that. So, sorry if that's you. But check your spam filter if you applied, I guess. But yeah, we've got a couple more folks that could come in over the coming days. But for the most part, the 2015 council is locked in at this point. Bacardi says, bring a Captoon to Galanda and let's take you for a spin. I always bring my Lobies. It really depends on to what character levels I actually have.
I would do loot for both, surely.
I don't know what I've got on Galanda. I know I've got epic level characters on Argo, Kyber, Thalanis, Sorlana.
They've always put heroic and epic loot in, and they've done heroic and epic quests.
Yep.
True, but they kind of missed some on for the high road. Like one of the only things there is the elite treads of Fallen Shadow.
Skunk City asks, when we say work on artificers, do we mean a third tree? Yes.
I've seen most of it, but there are a couple pieces missing. I just can't remember which ones off the top of my head. I think the bracers might be one of them.
All right, let's see any final questions before I wrap things up here. I don't see anything that I can immediately answer. So let's call it a stream. Don't forget to give us a follow on twitch.tv/DDOstream if you would like to be notified for whenever we are going live, just like this one. I do want to thank Drenkram, Lothbrokson, Meridian, Urlach, and Vielna for joining me here on Cannith. We will be back on Cannith next week as well. Probably the same characters. See, maybe I'll roll someone so we could run some epic level content as well if I can. Otherwise, just a note for you guys in the group with me that later this afternoon I will email you guys an in-game mail with a turbine point code for 500 turbine points. And for those in chat, we will be handing out some first come, first serve turbine points from the chat room. We'll also be messaging a few folks to give them a turbine point code as well. Also, if you are on the hunt for turbine points, follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.tv/DDOUnlimited. We've been doing weekly turbine point giveaways on Tuesdays. So that's something you can do as well. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. We'll be back in about a half hour for the Winter Fling. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. And thanks, folks.
Thank you. See ya.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you very much.